July. And then I'll have my powers back, but right now I do not. So what I mentioned to them is I'd like to just go part-time, at least stay with the department. And so I'm still embedded in there, and I still have a good working knowledge of what's going on. I can assist whenever I can if John has questions or whatever. And then we can continue to do our administrative role that within that 24-hour period. Just like I said, I'm taking a step back. I'm just not worth 40 hours a week right now. Just
But you out
based on.
chasing dogs and cats.
I'm sorry.
But you out chasing.
Let's not do that. No, I don't want to be an animal control officer. So, but what I can do is the next 4 months, I can work on my injury and get it rehabilitated so I can go back to work. And it just kind of lets me have a pulse on the department, and I can also continue to keep up my certs and my training and everything that I need to keep up with prior to going to the academy. So that's really all I have to say. I just, like I said, my heart just couldn't take pay for not doing the work, right? It's just not fair. And it's not fair to the citizens, it's not fair to the taxpayers. So I'll work no more than 24 hours a week, and then we'll just go from there, okay? So that's, you're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So is the city still paying for your insurance?
Well, I don't take insurance because I have military insurance. I'm retired military.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know nothing about this,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to know.
Yep.
So then, if these folks are able to take on the administrative role and do it, why would we need to pay you part-time to do something someone else is doing?
Well, they're not. That's the problem, is we're such a small department, we don't have time to keep up with the administrative part of it. So, but, with calls and everything else. So that's the biggest reason. That's why we're so behind on the administrative side of the house.
Well, when they were reading off what they did, it didn't sound to me like that there was an awful lot that, calls and everything else that they were doing. It didn't seem to me like they were overloaded with work.
That's everybody's opinion. I mean,
Again, it would not exceed 24, it'd be a part-time officer pay. Chief Wagner will be the decision maker. He is now the acting chief, and he'll be in that role. He'll consult with the mayor on any other decisions, and so I would like to get a motion if you're all agreeable to this proposal.
I'll make
Chief
the
will be-
motion.
Huh?
Bart made the motion.
Okay, we have a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. So your academy's 6 weeks long,
no,
4 weeks?
16, or what is it? No, wait.
15 or 16.
16 weeks,
Okay,
4 months.
4 months.
What was
Hey,
the
Mike.
extent of your injuries?
I don't need to discuss that here. That's HIPAA.
So how many officers, full-time officers we have on duty right now? I know one's in the academy.
Two.
Jim- Two's in the academy?
No, one's in the academy, two's on duty.
Right, so we have two, so we're not, all our shifts aren't getting covered anymore then, right?
An application process open trying to hire.
So what shifts, what hours are we working right now? Are we working nights? Weekends?
Our main other officer, Ross Stroke, he's working our night shift right now, and a lot of our part-time and reserve have picked up shifts to help cover some of that missing covers that we don't have right now.
Okay, just checking.
Until we get another officer on, that's just kind of where we're at the mercy of our part-time and reserves helping us right now, so.
I have a question. Well, I have a remark. I commend him for stepping and saying what you did. But can he not work as a reserve? I don't know what it takes to work as a reserve. I'm just asking.
Yeah, so, and that's a good question. To be honest with you, I've pushed that with the academy. I still haven't got a definitive answer back from them. And I don't know if when you talked to that, wasn't the academy, it was AIM or whatever it was.
I had also talked to the academy.
Okay, and so me personally have not got a definitive answer because I was pleading with them basically, we're short here, right? We're not a huge metropolitan department, and they know that, I mean, they're not. So we've kind of tried to ask them if I could go through the 40-hour pre-basic training again to get my police powers back, but the only problem is I've let that year elapse. So I don't think there's any way around it. It's ridiculous. I don't know why the law is written this way. Because when I graduated from the academy 25 years ago, the first time I went, when we graduated, they said it's good for life. You never have to go back. Now, if you have a break in service, you'd have to go back to go through criminal law and traffic law and stuff like that. And then they changed it to 10 years, and then a few years back they changed it to 6 years. So if you've been out of law enforcement for over 6 years, regardless of 6 years in a day or an hour, right? 6 years in an hour, you have to go right back through the whole academy again. So I don't know why that was actually changed, but that's a very good point. I'm hoping I don't know if they'll ever allow it or not. I highly doubt it though. But thank you for bringing that up.
Okay, one other item under essential business, we have a couple of applications for special events. One is the Loogootee Summerfest, the annual Loogootee Summerfest. Submitted an application for the green space area plus some streets, different streets depending on the vendors. So I'm gonna defer to the city attorney. He has reviewed the application in accordance with the ordinance.
Yes, I've reviewed the Loogootee Summerfest application here. They're requesting the green space area along with some various streets. The application has to be determined on several things here, and I understand that they may not realize all the vendors they're having at this current time. My recommendation is that we conditionally approve the Summerfest application for the green space, but take the advisement of whether or not there's any additional streets that need to be closed until we get an updated application from Loogootee Summerfest.
So we're going ahead and kind of assuring them the green space.
We're approving it. I would recommend approving it for the green space area, conditioned upon them amending their application at a later date.
Which would probably get back next month, I would say, once we get it back to them. Excuse me.
I'll make that motion.
Brandon's made the motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The next application we have is from the Loogootee Pride Fest. Also defer to City Attorney Tebow on this. He's reviewed the application and the request.
I have reviewed the application. It appears complete and signed. However, on the location of the proposed event, it appears as though neither the green space area nor the Loogootee City Park was selected, but all of Public Square Street was selected. My recommendation is, other than that, everything is fine with approving the Loogootee Pride Fest. I would just give them the opportunity to amend their application to choose either the Loogootee City Park or the green space.
So you're asking them to resubmit the application for one of those two locations.
That would be correct.
Does that require action or just give the application, have them resubmit the application for the green space or City Park?
I would go ahead and take action to basically approve Pride Fest at one of those locations, depending on how they amend their application.
a motion.
So just like we just did with the other one, we're just approving it for the green space and then with modifications?
Well, I mean, they haven't selected green space, it's a problem.
But I mean, if we go to them saying it's already been, approved for that, then we kind of circumvent having another meeting, I guess. Right?
Well, I mean, I guess you could fashion a motion in the way to approve, the Loogootee Pride Fest at either of those two locations upon the amending of their application.
What are the dates? You probably need to approve the dates too.
The dates
Theirs is in
of the
September,
Pride Fest
so we got
was
time.
September 6th, 2025. And Summerfest was June 19th.
So I'd make that motion to approve the green space in the park, and then that way we're covered for the next, when we get the modification, right?
Dana's made the motion.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think just to clarify, you approve, either one of the locations, but not
Yeah.
both locations.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have.
I have, one more thing about, I don't think a lot of some of these people weren't clear on the telemetry from lights. These are sensors throughout your water treatment plant, right? And they detect potential problems or problems that arise. So the more sensors you have, that's the difference in the price, right?
Well, yes. It's monitoring and some control. SCADA, I don't remember exactly. System control and data acquisition is what SCADA stands for. So yes, there was some, due to a lot of the things at the wastewater treatment plant currently being hard start motors without VFDs, no automation. A lot of it will be monitoring only. Some of it will be to implement PLCs and stuff to be able to operate it through the SCADA system. It's not cost effective. A lot of it will be, there'll be a large monitor that the operator will sit as they're doing their lab work and stuff. They can monitor all the operations. It'll send out alarms if something's wrong. It won't be controlled by everything, but a lot of the major components. It can send out an alarm.
Is there
It
any
can be
of these
addressed quicker.
sensors, if we go with the higher price, do they have a built-in mechanism to detect potential problems before they're?
Parts of it will have. Some of it, the technology is so old that it would not be cost effective to have it implemented. In time, if there's a major rehab at the wastewater plant, that would be the time to address it because you're dealing with grant monies and stuff like that. Here, this is out of pocket. There's some caveats to some of this. As we discuss it further, I'll know a little bit more about it. There's limitations to how much your project costs, as to whether you have to solicit bids or not.
Now, this is information, does it go back to the company and then they contact you or one of your people?
Through the SCADA system, no, it's all in-house. Nobody has any access to it except for those that are authorized.
It's
At
not
the
even,
water treatment plant, we're fully online. We can operate through our SCADA system with our cell phone, but there's a lot of walls that they have to get through, so we're pretty much
So what's the-
protected from cybersecurity.
This Cooperation here, they're just basically going to install it.
They're the engineering firm that designed it.
Okay.
They have staff that can do some of the installations to keep the costs down. It's however we decide we wanna do it. It's explained a little deeper within this packet. But, yeah, so some of it, they have the staff that has the capacity to be able to do the installations, again, to keep our costs down. I don't know what is the project costs where you'd have to go out and solicit bids? By advertisement, says $150,000,
Yeah,
250,
yeah.
$500,000.
Yeah, it's a large number. I mean, I don't know, I think it's set per city, is it, I mean, it's not a statute, it's set by city, and I don't know what our city has set as.
Well, I think that there is some control by some of the funding agencies,
Yes.
how you do it.
But we'll discuss this next
Sounds
week.
Yes. And I can
He should
invite
know. He's the attorney.
the rep from Lester's here that could give us some more in-depth detail on the financial part of things as well.
Is this something your folks, you think you could do on installing the sensors? I think
Not
so.
us.
I didn't think so, because I've dealt with this type of stuff.
That's why I'd like to see you go with some of it. It's a little bit simpler operations. I'm not saying that I'm a genius, but I've got the experience.
You've got the
You're,
G.
you're going, you're getting ready to lose a lot of experience, that's all I'm saying. These guys have no experience, basically. Other than, I mean, some of them been here 1 year. They're getting it, but they don't have it. The knowledge is here. This is technology that's being put in everywhere. It's an ease of operation, kind of security for your operators. This is what current operators are learning on versus mine was old school, you could say. There's a lot of it that I don't understand.
Thank you, Bo.
But it's a good system for the city, or I wouldn't be presenting.
I have a question. Is it time for citizen input?
If it relates to what's on the agenda,
Well, I haven't seen an agenda.
posted outside the office.
So do you have new business or old business?
No, that was it. All we've covered is what this Board of Works meeting.
So there's no room for citizen input?
What's on your mind, Rosemary? Just tell us.
Well, I would like to know, since it's come to my attention that Mayor Ader is out of the country and appears to be doing this, or has done this in the past from January to April, that he's out of the country, and I was just curious to find out how much we are paying him, his income and his benefits, insurance benefits and all of that during the time period that he is not in the office here or even in the country.
But he talks to us almost daily. I talk to him almost daily, if not every couple times a week. So I mean, he's working. He's just not physically here.
He's working from
His location, yeah.
from the hotel or wherever he's staying at then, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have only your information to support that, but I am just curious because evidently the whole board knows this transaction happens, and I, as a citizen paying taxes, had no knowledge of this, and I just want to know how much income I am paying in taxes for his salary during those 3 months of the year.
But he's still working. I mean, he's still working, he's
Sir?
just not physically in that office there. It's not any different than asking the chief about his physical part. It's really nobody's business what he does on vacation. I mean, nobody's asking me what I do on my vacation, but
I have never had a job, sir, that I was on vacation and was paid for 3 months out of the year.
but he's still working. He's just working from a remote side.
I didn't know
I
that
mean, he's
as-
probably working more there than
I
what he
didn't
does-
know
what he does
as
even
an
here. I don't know,
elected
but-
official that you could work from a remote site. Now, I've heard of IT people working from a remote site, but never an elected official.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Shoals president of the town board over there does the same thing.
Oh, really?
Kerry Albright, he's gone from December to, he's just now got back, so he goes down to Florida for 3 months.
Well, I should take a vacation from my taxes during a certain
Oh,
time.
but they're still
frame.
working, I mean, they're still working their job and everything, it's just working from a different location.
Do you folks, any of you folks on the council up there have any problem with that?
I don't. I mean, like I said, I talk to him probably 2 or 3 times a week, if not daily.
That's the Board of Works, isn't it? Council?
I'm sorry, Board of Works, I'm sorry, sir. I stand corrected, Board of Works. So you have no problems with that at all whatsoever?
I'm not gonna speak on his behalf. I wouldn't do it, but in Indiana, under the law, elected mayor only has to work, how many? What is
Well,
that?
I know,
Huh?
unless,
There's not a set amount of time they have to work.
No, there's no schedule.
no, and as far as I know,
So he can call
mayor
you
in
at
Loogootee
2 o'clock in
is
the
not
morning
full-time
and then you're gonna
position.
answer the
Yeah,
phone.
It's a part-time position anyway.
Oh, it's a part-time position.
Right.
I did not know that. I thought it was a full-time position.
No, it's always been a part-time position. Each mayor chooses to serve however many hours a day or a week or a month or a year he wants to work.
Huh, that's
Yeah.
what's wrong with
He'll be back
our country.
next month, so I'm not gonna speak on his behalf regarding it. We're trying to get business done as best we can with him gone. He does communicate, I believe, with the department heads and Lori and our city attorney and us.
The board,
Quite frequently.
Yeah.
So he is staying engaged, but it is a part-time position, so, like I said, I wouldn't
He's
do it if it was
engaged
me.
in
Not
whatever
everybody's
he's
like me.
doing down there, you know.
Mike, I have a question that something was on the agenda about the trees at the park.
Yeah.
Is there a place out there, is there places out there that new trees can be planted? Cause in another 5 years, there's gonna be more trees that are gonna be dying and need to come down. We're gonna end up with a park with no trees at all.
When's Arbor Day?
And when you go to Washington, they've got all kinds of shade for people to sit under. And I realize that at least that one tree that I know of probably needs to come out. That's got the blacktop all bubbled up. But is there places to plant more trees and can we look into that? And who needs to look into that?
That's something to be looked into, yes, I think by removing the existing parking lot, that's going to open up some space. A lot of it depends on how, what kind of equipment they want to be in there.
That's something to shoot for.
There it is. Be a good-
Yeah, it is.
I'm like anyone else, I don't like trees being removed from a site like that, but there are hazards involved with a lot of it. The one is tearing up the asphalt, but that's not the reason it's being taken down, it's because we are planning to expand the park. The one just to the east of it is gonna end up heaving up the walking trail, which is gonna be a trip hazard. We've had a lot of people complain about the sticks and the hickory nuts that are falling on the walking trail. If you've walked on them, I'm sure you have, it's like walking on marbles, there's a safety hazard. There's a lot of things that's being considered.
Just plant some trees because trees make everything beautiful.
Well, we have to have
And-
trees for oxygen, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, I think with proper planting, there should be trees replaced.
Well, I just keep that in the back of your heads, whoever needs to get in the back of their heads. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question on the city weight limits.
That's gonna come up on the, council agenda.
Oh, next.
So, nothing else from Board of Works, so that's what
I had one thing
motion.
for Bo before, so I'm new to the board of works, which you already know that, but I wouldn't mind coming out and seeing the wastewater and stuff, kind of getting a better idea of how all it works and stuff. I realize you're a very busy person, but give me a
You're
holler when
welcome
you get a chance.
anytime,
and
I'll make myself available as long as I'm here.
I'll be more than happy to jump in there and run over there with you, like, and you can kind of show me what you got and talk a
For
little bit
4
about
months
it.
and 8 days.
Just guessing, folks.
Have a motion to adjourn, Board of Works,
I'll make the motion.
have a second,
I'll second.
all in favor? We'll start the council meeting as soon as the council gets up here.
This was, so now we're gonna at the council meeting. Well, see, I wasn't aware about this part.
Holding up.
Did you get your packet?
You just gotta remember that election day next time.
Pardon me?
Just remember that election day next time.
Oh,
Who you
well,
vote.
see, I do not vote because I don't live in the city, but I pay plenty of taxes to the city.
So, that's the only way you can change that.
Yeah. Well, the city council, the city council. Annie. But they should give you a spreadsheet or something explaining to you how much they pay him, his salary, his insurance, and the other benefits that they give to him. I mean, if he's gonna be gone 3 months out of the year, you should be able to do that.
I heard you were on for it.
No, well, on that, I mean, I'm not for it because I hate doing that, but
Sometimes they have to come out, but
Yeah.
plan on planting.
See, we've talked about it. New trees in there, and look, we do about roadies, at least a couple of them have to come out.
yeah.
Right now, I looked at the one by the walking trail, it's not that far away from it, it's fine, it should stay. You take those trees out there, I mean, those two trees left alone. Yeah, no, like one in between the shelter houses, and then there's one right in the middle.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the council meeting order with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mayor Bader. Mike Eagleman.
Present.
Carol Rahill. Mark McAtee. Jeremy Holland.
Here.
Dave Smith. Here. Attorney Stephen Peterball.
Present.
And Clerk Treasurer Lori Carrico.
I should have a copy of the minutes of the previous meetings. February 10th and February 19th was the special meeting for the Community Crossroads Grant. Yeah.
Where's the agendas that have you been doing?
They're outside the door, looking toward the agendas.
If there's no additions or corrections to the minutes, I'll ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Excuse me.
Carol's made the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Claims, everybody has a copy of the claims.
No, everyone has a copy of the claims.
Make a motion, or can I get a motion to accept the claims as presented unless there's any questions? Everybody have a chance to review them. Everything was pretty normal.
We're not quite 3 months into it, but how many people stayed in the van to the gym?
couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now.
I think it's 8. Last we checked, last bill we got, I think there were 8 people, employees at it.
I can speak to that. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mark. That's my fault. So it's 3. So 3 out of 4 so far.
But then we have some in the other departments too.
Yes, yeah,
I think we
yeah.
got 4 in my department.
And then 4 on his department.
Right, but I was wanting to get a total.
Yes, sir. And the only reason, John's really the only one, and he's just been super busy. I mean, he's got all kinds of stuff going on, so. But he will eventually go, so the whole department will actually go to the gym. So right now, everybody, so. By the way, thank you all for that. So. Excuse me.
Carol's made a motion to approve, you have a second yet?
I say.
All in favor?
Aye.
No old business, new business, Bo covered these in the Board of Works meeting, the annual sampler maintenance and trees at the park. So I would ask for a motion, Board of Works deferred to the city council on the annual sampler maintenance agreement of $943. Get a motion for that?
They should have those people look at them before they even have their meeting.
What was that? No, somebody have a comment or you should have something before.
I'm sorry, what?
He wanted to
He
know
wanna know
what
what
you
you
said.
said.
I said you should have the opportunity to look at those, information before you have your meeting.
We did, we had the claims
Oh,
before.
okay,
Yeah, we
thank
just- We like to double check.
Have a motion for the annual sampler maintenance of $943? Carol makes the motion. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Board of Works passed the $4,500 for the trees at the park for Kellers. Let's get a motion for that to approve.
What was about 48?
48.
48.
Aye.
Well, I go local, would you?
Kind of my thought.
I like to go local on that, I really would.
Well,
Keller's
they-
local too.
He's
Taylor's
local.
local too, he's in town everywhere.
He's
And
right
that
on the
quote
edge of
was
town.
45, not
Okay, I
the,
didn't
the
know.
second one was 48.
Okay.
What I'm gonna say about Bob Melton, he trimmed my trees, took 2 down. Actually had to take the fence down to get into it, my property. Put it back there, we don't have to do that.
Keller does the same thing,
Yeah, I'm not-
They're both good at what they're doing.
yeah.
They've also both done extra things for the city and not charged us with different activities. So they're good citizens, good comrades.
So we have a motion for the Keller.
I'll make the motion.
That makes the motion, who's second? All second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, City Street weight limit. We talked about this a little bit at the last meeting. Does this require an ordinance or not?
To enforce, yes,
To enforce.
yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just a notice.
So we need to have an ordinance in place. If we put up the signs, there's no enforcement until you get an ordinance.
So I understand it, yes.
So you were talking about 10,000 street limit,
That's what's in the county,
okay? And
Martin County and Davies County. And I'm not sure if Shoals, if they've done anything, or if they follow with the county.
so with the issue up in, that's approaching Country Court 5, there's some concern about the weight of the trucks coming in there on that expansion. I think I talked to you about it before the meeting a little bit, so you do have some information you have to share, right?
There was a project construction meeting this afternoon with the contractor and Midwestern Engineers. I did bring it up about the road on Byron Street specifically. There was some settling. It's not all necessarily done by the traffic, but it sure has enhanced it.
Tremendously, I have pictures.
As well, we anticipated some failures, not like it has. But in conversation with Midwestern and kind of with the contractor, they will have a paving contractor here probably early fall. I forget exactly what the timeline is. But I brought it up and told them that from my position, I think it'd be a good time to start talking to them and getting some prices from their contractor and recommendations on overlaying the current streets that are showing pavement.
Well, the sewer that's going under the road in a lot of these that go through our yards over to the next road down to the butchers, those are dipping down in those areas right now.
It was showing some settlement, not like it is now. The truck traffic has definitely enhanced it. It's something that we were gonna eventually experience, but again,
The city
with
weight
the
limit is,
additional
the city
traffic-
weight limit is 10 tons.
pardon me,
The city weight limit right now is 10 ton. So why do we have 22 triaxle trucks, 22 ton triaxle trucks going through 4 at a time, backing up that road?
I can't answer that.
Margaret, can I speak? This project was done,
This
Back-
project wasn't brought up before everybody, before it was done and done.
it
Done
was
deal.
done backwards. They should have got with NDOT and got an easement off T-31 to come in there before anything
Yeah,
was
because the
left.
Maranatha Church did, so I think that would be really easy for them to just lay some rock down there and start coming in that way. And I know that it was done backwards. But it's not fair to our whole, what do you think's gonna happen at Butcher Boulevard turning off the highway within another month? I have pictures of our road and how it has changed in just a month.
Well, you haven't seen anything yet. When they start building homes up there, and you're
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to.
contractors are just trucks and stuff. I am talking about 22 ton triaxle dump trucks, 4 at a time, backing up, dumping it, leaving, and coming back. And you're talking 44,000 pounds. So if we have a weight limit, I think that should be enforced. Sorry.
Well, we need to get the ordinance first. Hopefully, can you have that ready on next meeting?
Question, are we making any roads exempt? I know that was a little bit, has been a topic.
That would be something that the council and the street department, myself, need to discuss, I would imagine.
I mean, that's the only thing, I mean, if we can make it an easy ordinance to make it a blanket covering it, but my understanding was it was gonna probably need to be some exceptions. So I don't,
Well, the exception is, I guess, if you're gonna discuss repaving that up there towards the fall, what kind of shape is that road gonna be in if it keeps between now and then, I guess? I
It
understand
sounds
the
more
concern.
logical to come off of 231. Those houses are being built right up to the edge of 231.
There's no
So
pathway
not-
from 231 to get in there.
Well,
not-
make
it's not-
one, can't be hard.
That's gotta go through.
It is difficult.
What's gonna be more expensive, repairing those 3 roads that we all live on now, compared to just having, dump all that rock in that ditch and let them drive on? That's all they're driving on now. Once they get to the end of our block, they're driving on that rock. I don't see what the problem is. Take the rock out
I
and
know
put
what
the
you're
ditch
saying,
back.
and it is a difficult situation.
So what's gonna be more
Some of
expensive?
those things were discussed prior to construction with previous administration and the planning committees. I wasn't involved in that, so I can't
There
answer
was a
some
lot
of
of
those
people not
questions.
involved in it.
Pardon me?
There was a lot of people not involved in it.
And unfortunately, that's where we're at today. We can only try to fix it.
Bo, what's the current limit on city streets?
10 ton.
And there's an ordinance to support that?
I don't believe there is.
We don't have an ordinance, but,
Why do we have all the signs up then if there's not an ordinance?
well, we're getting back to enforcement. You can't ticket people for violating the weight limit if you don't have an ordinance in place. So he's gonna get an ordinance in place, then we can issue fines. But we
We've
can't
never,
do it
we've
till
never
we
had
get
an
the
ordinance in Loogootee on the city street. That's incredible.
You don't.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's nothing
Do
that
what?
we've been able to find.
I think we did.
I
need to
think
look in the
that they've
ordinance book.
Implemented weight limits in the
You
past.
got a book? You got an ordinance book? Should be able to get one, the clerk's office.
Well, we have an ordinance book, but there's nothing in there, I've read it.
On the streets?
I've not seen anything on weight limit on the streets.
How do we get the signs if we never had it?
How that could be possible.
I don't know. That's a good question.
The county weight limit's based off weather, right? I mean, it's, when it's bad weather, that's when they really throw out that no more than 10,000 pounds because it tears up the roads.
In the spring, fall,
Yeah.
basically, yes. Wet weather, spring, fall.
So
Yeah.
whose responsibility is it to get the permit or whatever it takes to get off of the 231, like what Maggie's saying?
It'd just be a temporary
Whose
thing.
responsibility is that? The builder, or the builder up there, or whatever you
Developer.
call it? The developer?
The
All
developer.
such should have been done.
I know.
Before we ever.
We know that, but since we
I know.
already see a problem coming, that's gonna cost our
You think
city.
you got problems
a
now,
lot
but
more
you
to-
wait till those
No,
houses are
you
built.
wait, not me. You wait. It's gonna be the expense of Loogootee to fix that. So why not just solve the problem now or see if the developer or contractor, whoever,
That's what I'm saying.
can
Why-
do something about
Why
it?
can't the council go to the developer and say, hey, we know what's going on here, but you're gonna have to hold off till you get a different way into this area? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking the lawyer. Can that be done? Can you know, can you?
Go through NDOT.
How fast
Yeah.
can an ordinance
Well,
come
I know
into
they,
effect?
the developer has to go through NDOT. We don't.
How fast can you get an ordinance into effect for this? How,
I mean, if
between
you have a
everybody?
unanimous vote, I mean, you can get one through on the first reading.
And it has to be at a meeting, you guys can't do it through email or something?
No, it would have to be at a meeting.
But you could call a special meeting.
We could.
I think that's,
So they'd have to go through NDOT to get permission to come on the highway.
The developer would.
Yes.
That's why I say,
Well, my
And
son,
then-
work-
Get
my
with the
son work,
developer.
my son works for NDOT and he said that doesn't have anything to do with him. The developer should make a way into that track being built.
but what they're saying is that the developer has to have permission from NDOT to do anything that close to the highway,
It's
correct?
design and permitting.
Right.
but he has no incentive unless there's an ordinance that's telling him that he's.
So all the houses being built from Loogootee to Jasper, they have to go through NDOT to
They
build
gotta
a
get
house
this
and put a driveway?
Yes.
Mhm.
Even if you've got an existing driveway and you wanna replace a culvert, you
You
have
have
to
to
have a
get
permit.
permit.
Well, you're gonna be, yeah. You'll be replacing a bunch of culverts in our town, our city.
It's basically just the easement, right? They control the easement, so whatever's on
Right,
there,
yes.
they've got it, right?
Yes.
So who needs to contact the developer and push in that direction? The mayor.
Yeah, it needs to go
Yeah, we
back.
need a motion if somebody's gonna,
And get on that.
yeah.
I say,
I mean, whether you go through Birch or whether you go through the contractor or the developers or both of them.
You need a motion for the ordinance. They need to have this ordinance right away because there's no incentive for the builder
So
to
then
do
I can get
anything.
out in the middle of my street and stop those trucks if there's an ordinance
there's
saying
an
they can't
ordinance.
have over 10 ton
You
going
can call
down.
the
the
Now
road.
you
law.
have to contact the police department.
Police department. If they get ticketed
I
in
tried
that,
to get
maybe they'll
speeding controlled in front of my house. At the time, I've got license plate numbers that said it doesn't do any good unless they see it.
Yes, they see it.
They have it on record, so it's basically the same thing. The laws govern too many things.
Okay, so can you make an ordinance in for the ordinance for the 10 ton thing that you have signs all over town for, number one?
that would stop any production.
I think you need to start
Exactly.
looking into
And they'd have to
traffic
find another way
They would
in.
have to find another alternative, and for them to go through NDOT is going to be a long draw.
I'm sure some of that was
Do we
covered.
care?
I don't care, because you folks up there,
There was a lot
my
of
sister lives
discussion.
up there, my
I
brother,
wasn't
you
involved
think
in
it's
it.
bad, you got traffic problems now, you wait till you get them homes in there, and you have no,
That road coming in from Butcher Boulevard from 231 can't handle that. That's gonna be an NDOT problem.
I'll get in touch with the mayor and I'll tell him, I will tell him, I'm not gonna ask him. I'm gonna tell him that he needs to get on the phone with the developer, that we're gonna adopt an ordinance, enforcement of weight limits. They need to find a new route into that division up there, and need to contact NDOT as soon as they can. I will give you my word, I'll contact him and make sure he gets on it right away.
You know, we could probably get him on the phone right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They have to make a motion to.
Hey, can you make that motion?
You go ahead and start
You don't
recording.
have to make a motion, I mean, I can get an ordinance prepared, so no exemptions in.
what about
I'd make a
making
motion,
deliveries
so
local?
lock it in stone.
Yeah, I mean, you've got IGA, the grocery stores.
Are those over 10 ton?
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got Walmart.
What?
Grocery store deliveries, are those over 10 ton?
They probably aren't 10-ton trucks though.
I'd say that's probably the reason why, yeah.
Yeah.
That some other guy was doing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about trucking industry.
There was some, I
So
thought, I don't know where.
hence,
some other
if
gentleman,
Davies County,
congressman was
which I'm
doing that.
pretty sure they have implemented a 10-ton load limit, and Lawton is still, the machine
And
shop
it's north
is
of
still
town.
receiving
Yeah.
products
Just north.
on the Davies County roads, then they're still under that limit, which would apply here as well.
Could you look at the zoning map and just blanket anything that's commercial exempt, as far as the roads go?
I mean, besides these triaxle trucks that are coming in, there's these big things that are on those rolling things that tore up like 8 feet right between my house and Sheet's house, where the gravel is actually,
So they're not
coming up
gonna
now.
spend it
There's,
on that.
what are those called?
Tractors or bulldozers?
Excavator, man.
Huge, they're as wide as the street is, and so the
yeah.
the wheels are this wide.
You've got
but it's-
excavators coming in because they've got the sanitary sewers to install. And a lot of those are over 12 foot deep, so yeah, it takes a big piece of equipment to get that deep.
Well, there's already sinkholes of 2 feet.
It's up to you guys. Saying if you don't have a little bit of sting to it, then it's gonna, pay attention to it.
Now, the ordinance would have to have some teeth to it, like $1,000 fine,
There you go.
so.
Make it-
check
make it
those
work.
city streets.
Make it
We need also look at the contractors.
Yeah, we do need to look at that.
Established.
Yeah,
with
we'd
the
like to see that
contractor, the
contract
developer,
too.
the City of Loogootee, to see if they are, if there's
You can get a
what
copy, but you have to.
statements have been
you have
put
to
into
ask
the
for
contract
specific-
on the
you have to
developer.
sign a piece of paper and then choose your color for going up, but you have to go to the clerk.
The developer or the contractor? Who's doing
Who's bringing in these trucks?
The landowners are Lawton and Wagner.
Yeah.
The contractor is Don Gress.
That's who.
Don Breast, Washington.
I see.
So, I don't know anything about contracts, I wasn't involved in the administrative part of it. Between the Midwestern
Don will
engineers,
say
the
mass before he
developer,
comes out.
and the contractor, I'm sure there's statements
Don will have
within
to
the
go to mass
contracts
before he comes out.
and the city, somebody had signed off on something. There's statements about existing, pre-existing, and post-construction.
Don Breast.
My comments were directed at the contractors. I know the developers are developing, but my comments, the
Well, it's
contractors should be
true, I
aware
mean.
of, a different route. So that's the way, but I'll talk to Brian,
I've done business
We'll
with
get
him before.
get that rectified.
Yeah, so that's basically, it's up, the contractor's doing it, he's paying. The developers are the ones that have to give them an alternative route.
Okay.
If you come up with a blanket 10-ton limit, how's our businesses gonna get their goods in?
I can't.
If you come up with a blanket 10-ton limit, how's our businesses gonna get their goods into their stores?
You'll have to stay under the 10 tons.
They can't. You take a semi that's loaded, that's going to viewers, or they're going
You'd have to probably get an exemption to commercial.
Commercially zoned
delivery
property
only.
should be exempt.
I think last time we just talked about residential, right?
Yes.
So that means the highways are fine, so them getting into the Marathon for fuel or IGA for their groceries, they should be fine, but
You'll
it's a
run into the
residential
same
street.
thing.
Yeah, we're
as-
talking residential. I mean, I'm talking the 10-ton residential
Absolutely.
that's on all the side
Well,
streets
the
in town.
50 homes
You're
is
gonna run into
like
the same thing
teeny
with
tiny.
development on North Oak. Similar to the same. I think that's why there was never any industry brought into the industrial park, is because there was no ingress and egress.
There is no easement.
One thing you're gonna have to worry about and look into is if you change the rules they have to play by when they bid. And this, you restrict them to 10 ton and they bid it to bring in 20, 22 ton at a time, you're gonna double the trucking and they may come back to the city looking for.
Consider it a change order.
Is that why it was all done so secretly?
Okay, well, we'll get,
In my conversation during the progress meeting today it was brought up, and we will be discussing repairs to the existing street. Who's responsible is yet to be determined, but they will be brought back to, my apologies as well as, I'll speak for the city administration, what we're suffering right now, but they will be brought back to a
We're
better
not
condition.
gonna solve the long-term problem of traffic flow.
Well, you know what, there's not gonna be any traffic flow going through there because there's no coming off of 231. So it's just gonna be
That's what I
people
mean.
living there.
There needs to be an egress and ingress coming out 231. That's the first thing that should have been done before any of the developers.
That was all discussed in the planning stage. That was all discussed in the planning stages.
Well, Bo, didn't they get some kind of monies in order to do the infrastructure with that? Grant monies?
You're talking, I don't know. I
I
wasn't
thought I
involved
read
in
about that.
I wasn't involved in the administrative portion of the agreement.
like I said, we'll all follow up with the mayor, see if we can get something straightened out as soon as possible, get the ordinance ready, and then we'll bring the ordinance and get it passed and adopted as soon as he can get it ready. Next up is the comprehensive development plan. Did you all get a copy? Did you email a copy to us? No.
I didn't email a copy, but there is one all in everybody's copy.
Okay.
I believe. Buck, you have one?
We have a comprehensive development plan that's being put together by Grant Sherpy. gonna cost $30,000, but 20,000 of it's coming from a grant from the community foundation, and the remaining 10,000 would come out of economic development money, which is it. So it's gonna be paid in steps, I believe. We can approve it tonight, knowing that 1/3 of it is gonna be city obligated, the other 20 comes from the foundation grant. This is something that we need to do to keep our city current, being potentially eligible for other grant funding and different funding that would come down the pipeline, have a community action plan, comprehensive development plan. That's what this is.
There will be public meetings so people can come and voice their concerns and ideas.
Yes.
So you don't have to make a motion on the 10-ton thing you're gonna look into? You don't have to make a motion?
The lawyer said that he doesn't need a motion, but I think you should get a motion. I think you should move. I think you owe it to them to do something.
He's gonna get the ordinance ready. I'm gonna talk to Brian. He'll get a hold of who he needs to get a hold of on the development side and the contractor side.
I think what she needs, and what we all need, it would put it in concrete that you're going to actually do something for us if you make a motion. It's just simple.
Yeah, for
Make us
resident,
happy, make a motion on it.
residential weight limits, that you're making a motion that you're going to
Look into it.
not look into, have the attorney drop an ordinance about it.
Motion?
I mean, you then have to put that resolution down in writing, and really should read it. So, kind of
I mean, the point,
getting a written document prepared to then say we're gonna prepare another written document.
but it's just a motion saying that
It was brought up.
Yeah.
that you realize there's a problem with weight limits.
It'll be in the
That
minutes,
needs
and
to
we're all
be
on the
done.
same
It'll be in the
page.
minutes. You can make a motion to table it until next month.
That
when
makes
you've got
us
the
laugh.
actual ordinance written up.
We're all
And
in
that way it's all
agreement,
in there.
we're all in agreement that it's gonna be an ordinance, it's gonna be in the minutes. He'll have the ordinance to us as soon as he gets it ready, we'll draft it,
Special
adopt it,
meeting.
and implement it.
And try to do a special meeting, because this is,
Yeah,
How long
it'll
would
have
that
to
take
be
you,
special.
how long would that take you to?
If we're just doing an ordinance that says this weight limit in residential areas and that's it, nothing else, it's very simple, doesn't take long at all to do.
And then the fine amount, whatever.
Yeah, fine, so I mean, that's pretty straightforward. If we're putting a bunch of exemptions in there, then it gets a little bit trickier.
This is something that conceivably can be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
less.
less than that.
Okay.
Good.
I think probably
I'll have
need to
the
look
whole,
in,
the neighborhood to be here next meeting.
Good.
probably need to look into the current contract.
Right.
The city, the developer, and the engineers. What contracts read.
Maggie, we want to do it as soon as possible, we don't want to rush it into state.
Oh, I know.
Midwest engineer.
Well, I'm understanding what he's saying. He has to look what the contract said and everything like that. But we still have signs in town that say 10-ton weight limit. I would like that to be an ordinance.
Because there's some time to
Exactly. So there's an ordinance somewhere, which is why I brought it up tonight.
We need to look at that too. And I gave him my word to move on.
Yes, we will. Back to the comprehensive development plan. I'd like to ask for a motion that we approve and proceed forward with it. The by jumping once.
Yeah, I think this has been kind of handed.
Oh, yeah.
Seen this. Is this something we have to do tonight?
We can table it to the next meeting, I don't think you need an answer right away.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to have a little bit of time to go over this and look into it a little bit more. I think
Okay.
it's good, I think on the surface it's a good idea, but
Can we have?
All right, we'll table it to the next meeting, so everybody has better understanding. Okay, we have a pay application number 6 for that Country Court 5 project.
Yeah, Michelle Pearson's not here, she just, you guys should have all got a copy of it. You should have a copy of it in your packet too, also with a picture that Midwestern has of it. The pay application for $74,119.82. So we just need approval from you, a motion from you approving that get paid.
74,000, what now?
$119.82.
And what is that for?
Is for work that has been completed from the last pay application, which I'm not sure the date of that one, to February 28th.
So is this for this operation of the city or employees or what?
This is for Country Court 5. This is new development.
Oh. So are we paying this out?
Are we paying it out? Yeah, we have to. I mean, we're paying it in, as things are completed, then yes.
Well,
It's coming out of already appropriated grant money through ROI.
Okay, so what exactly are we doing there? I mean, what's the city doing there?
They're building 41 homes.
We're doing all the infrastructure
You're building the infrastructure for what now?
for the development over here.
The one that we just got through talking about, the 50 homes or whatever?
Yeah.
Right, 41.
Now, this isn't the same road that she's talking about. This is the one that these gentlemen came and talked about, no,
No, this is the same project.
same project.
But not the
Okay.
same road, because that's her actual neighborhood that they drive through.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Get a motion to approve the pay application number 6 for Country Court 5.
What happens if we don't pay it? Put some heat on the developer to get
We need to be better prepared.
insurance.
I think that would be breach of contract, wouldn't it? He said, what happens if we don't pay it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would,
We're under contract and
I'm all for it going in. I'm just not for my road being tore up.
Won't be all for it going in unless they get access off the highway.
That's right.
You're gonna have all kinds of cars down through your neighborhood.
I'll make the motion. That'd be good.
Okay.
I'll second it, we're under contract.
All in favor? Aye. And the other thing on the agenda is gonna be tabled because it's not ready. The ordinance for pets and public areas was discussed. We don't have an ordinance ready on that. So that will be brought up at a future meeting. Any other essential business? Ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to bring up the same thing that I brought up before the Public Works Department, and that's in regard to the mayor being gone 3 months out of the year. And I'm asking for, and I guess all of you are aware of that, I'm sure you are. I would like to know how much his salary is, if I could be supplied with that information, and also his benefits. Like his insurance and everything that the city pays to him.
That's all on record because that's
Yeah.
all given out before the mayor's elected.
I haven't seen that, I'm sorry. We don't have much of a paper anymore, and so I don't have that information, I'm sorry.
I have a salary wage ordinance in my office. I can get that for you, the exact
Thank you,
amount.
thank you, I appreciate that.
And I don't know on benefits, you may have to check I don't know that I can give a specific amount, I can give a general what a range of benefits are, but I don't think I'm allowed.
You can't specifically say what somebody's insurance
Yeah.
is, whether they've taken it or not.
Yeah, I can't say any of that, that's all protected
You can't-
information.
You can't say on there how much we pay in insurance for him for the year, or,
I can't do it for any
No,
employee,
not
it's
on a
protected
specific
information.
employee, that's protected.
I can say how much
information.
we pay for everyone in the city, that's public information. I can't say a specific person, I can't say who takes it, who doesn't take it,
okay,
what they
okay.
take.
But can you give me an idea as to how much you pay per employee for insurance?
I could possibly come down with a breakdown of what it would be like if you're a single person, or if you're a family, or
That sounds good.
something like that. I mean, I think we
Yeah.
have that, but I don't have
No, I don't
a
necessarily,
broad, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how much in benefits that you pay, and then it's just a very generic information as to which one, I mean, how much you pay per employee.
And like I said, I can do generic on benefits, that I have to
Okay.
be generic on. I can't not give specific information. I
Thank you.
can salary, title, wage ordinance is a public
And then
document.
how much of their own insurance do the city employees pay?
Employees pay 10% of the overall cost, and the city pays 90%.
So they pay 10%?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's also for full-time employees?
It's for full-time employees and elected officials. Minus council.
And the council also receives benefits in that manner also?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Online.
Yeah. I'm smart of it, but that's all right.
Basically, you know, the highway and all.
Stephanie.